Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're going exploring the curious case of the disappearing books. You got that feeling, right? When you lend a book out to a friend or colleague,
Hmm.
it's like it enters this void, never to be seen again.
It's true.
And for today's deep dive, we found this really interesting thread in an online forum, just full of people sharing these experiences of lending out books and never getting them back.
Right.
The poster even calls it book limbo, which I thought was a very appropriate way to put it.
I love that term.
Yeah.
It really captures that feeling, doesn't it?
It does.
That blend of like disappointment and maybe just a tinge of resentment.
Right?
Like, did they even like it enough to remember they borrowed it?
Yeah. Or are they just like carelessly tossing it
Yeah.
aside? Or do they actually enjoy it?
Yeah,
I think that's part of the mystery, isn't it?
absolutely. I think it speaks to something deeper than just the object itself.
Yeah.
You know, we often associate books with personal meaning and memories, and there's actually a psychological principle called the endowment effect,
Oh, really?
where we tend to place a higher value on things we own, even if it's just, a simple paperback.
Mhm.
So when we lend out a book, we're not just giving someone a story to read, we're almost sharing a piece of ourselves.
Interesting. So when that book disappears, it does feel like you're losing a little part of you.
Exactly.
And then there's this whole other element of mystery, right? Like, where do all these books go?
Yeah.
I mean, the forum has some pretty funny theories.
Uh-huh.
Everything from this giant warehouse stacked full of forgotten loans
Oh
to
my God.
like a secret society of bookworms just hoarding all the good stuff.
The library of lost books. I love that idea.
Right.
Maybe it's like a massive underground lair where they've got first editions and signed copies.
I know.
It's a very romantic image.
Yeah, it is.
Although if we're being realistic, they're probably tucked away in someone's guest room or on a dusty shelf.
Yeah, just completely forgot.
Maybe with the best of intentions to return them someday.
Right.
But, life gets in the way. Things pile up.
Sure.
But it does make you think about that unwritten agreement. When you borrow something from someone,
Yeah.
that social contract.
It's funny you should say that because I had this experience where I lent out a first edition of Pride and Prejudice.
Ooh, a first edition.
Yeah. It was a gift from my grandmother.
Wow.
And it's gone.
Oh, no.
I mean, years have passed and I still have no idea where it is.
It's like a literary mystery.
It is.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, is it just about forgetfulness or is there something more?
That's a good question.
Huh?
And it makes you consider, that balance between trust and responsibility.
Yeah.
We lend things to people we care about because we trust them,
Right.
but maybe their attachment to the book isn't as strong as ours.
Exactly. Or maybe they just don't quite treat it with the same reverence.
Right. And that can be a tough pill to swallow sometimes,
It is.
especially with something like a book that holds sentimental value.
It's funny because I feel like there's this whole genre of classic borrower excuses.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, oh, it's around here somewhere. I just have to find it.
Uh-huh. Classic.
My dog ate it.
The dog ate the book excuse.
Especially for a hardcover.
I know.
Like, how?
Right. But I guess joking aside, it does make you wonder, like, what can we do to prevent our treasured books from going astray?
Yeah. I mean, the forum did have some practical suggestions.
Like what?
Like keeping a lending log. So you actually keep track
Interesting.
of who you've lent what to.
Uh-huh.
Or even using a book sharing app
Oh,
to kind of formalize the process.
that's actually a pretty good idea. I might have to try that. So it seems like the mystery of the vanishing book might just remain a mystery.
Yeah, for now.
I think what we really learned today is that it goes so much deeper
It does.
than just the book itself. It's about those shared experiences.
Right. The trust we place in others. And, maybe even a little bit about letting go.
Absolutely. And to leave you with one final thought,
Okay.
what if you stumbled upon a stash of these missing borrowed books? Would you try to return them to their original owners? Or would you consider them, spoils of war, something to add to your own collection?
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. It makes you think, doesn't it,
It does.
about our relationship with objects and with each other.
Very true. Well, on that note, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening, everyone, and happy reading.